morning and welcome to the Beginners Online Trading webinar, the Trading Success Blueprint. My name is Danny and I will give you the webinar today. So I will explain first how the webinar is going to happen and then we will begin. So the first part will be more of an introduction to AvaTrade, what services we have that can assist you along your journey with us. The second part, some about the facilities here, the buttons. And the second part will be more practical. Okay, we're going to discuss some logic behind trading just to understand the basics and the general concept. But those are tools that will be useful later on. And of course, for people who are already traders who are already moving, those tools can be very useful as well. Okay, and last part can be analysis, but that depends. We'll see how fast we can go. And then if we'll have spare time at the end, maybe we'll put it into analysis, just on a nutshell. Okay. Now, any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only and should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or a suggestion. Now, I know that this is a very common question if this webinar can be sent later on and so on, but unfortunately, I'm not. Okay, I just want to tell you that the webinar is recorded, okay? And if you can see it again, you can review it on YouTube on our channel. And okay, let's just hit the road. And before that, I would like to make sure that it's recorded as it's supposed to be, and then we will begin. Okay, so I'll be right back, guys. Thank you very much. Excellent. Everything seems okay. We have somebody raise their hands. Mr. Dumani. Okay, so guys, because I am moving forward, you don't have to raise your hand. You can just use the question section freely. You don't have to raise your hand. You put down whatever question you have, and then I can address it when the time's right. Okay, and now we can officially begin. Like I said, this is the Trading Success Blueprint, the Beginners Online Trading webinar. Let's get ourselves, and I'm Danny. If you want to ask anything, we're going to get ourselves some nice place to jot down the notes, and we can officially begin. So, as you know, we are a regulated company. We exist since 2006, 9 license worldwide. Our customer service, in case you have any query or question, is right here at the bottom left. You can either chat with us or use the WhatsApp function. Now I'm going to go ahead and say that this interface is called the Web Trader. Okay, so if you don't have it, obviously you won't be able to access the customer service through here. So what you should do is you should send an email to CS. This is also for any other method, really. If you don't want to use the chat, you want to send an email, that's the address, cs@avatrade.com. For any customer service questions and for trading, we have a senior account manager that can be assigned on your file, depend on your eligibility, after you funded the account and you started moving. And he can assist you with basically everything's related to trading. Okay, so that means a plan, strategy, okay, calculations, certain things you might want to know called leverage, which I'm going to explain about it later on. But in case you need a recap or really anything else along the way, the account manager, the senior account manager, is the individual that can assist you with it. Okay, now we're going to carry on with the Web Trader. Let me just quickly write it down here. We're going to write down a couple of things here just to know. Oh, sorry, that's Avago. So we're looking at the desktop version. That's the desktop version for the Web Trader, but it's also in the app. It's called Avago. And beside that, we have MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5. Okay, and beside those, we have Ava Social and Ava Options. Now, the unique thing about Ava Social, okay, I don't think we really have a point going too far with Ava Options because this is not an options webinar. and those are CFD platforms, okay, the WebTrader, MetaTrader 4 and 5. And Ava Options has a different concept with which is options trading, and we don't have time to explain how it goes, okay, but I'm just going to tell you that as an app for itself is very innovative, and it lets you see predictions and how you can design your position in a way that makes sense, your options in a way that makes sense, and you should definitely try it if you want to trade options. Regarding Ava Social, especially for beginners, okay, it can be very useful because it has two main I don't know if to call it feature functions. Okay, let's call it functions, which is follow and copy. And what it allows you to do is to follow another trader. So let's suppose you're now a beginner or not. It's good even if you're not only a beginner, and you right now you want to test out a new strategy. You want to find out a new strategy that can be profitable. So what you can do is you can just follow a trader, and you're going to get notifications with his positions, and you can execute it similarly. Okay, you're going to be following his strategy. And you can also copy if you like out of time or you just want to do things automatically. You can also link your account to his account, and then naturally the positions will be executed automatically. Okay, you can also adjust it in between. It's difficult to explain it to you right now because we don't see the app, but when you download the app and you're going to go through follow or copy, it will allow you to adjust the numbers in a way that makes sense in case you're following somebody with bigger balance and so on. Okay, and of course I recommend you to do that before you start moving. Okay, so that is pretty much it about those other platforms. Of course, if there are any questions, feel free to ask. And we are going to carry on with the WebTrader and the AvaGo for the time being. And we are going to cover some of the features here to the left. This is, by the way, the default screen, okay? I didn't click anything, downloaded anything at all. This is what you should see when you're logging into the website with your email and password. And if you clicked on something and you want to get back to the default screen, all you have to do is really to click on AvaTrade. Here you see the icon here, and then it sends you back. And like I said, let's have a look at the left-hand side buttons. So we have here, this is for information about the account and details. Here it's trade. This is where we are at right now. The positions, orders, if you have pending orders and so on, history, signals, we're going to review that in a moment. Actually, let's begin with that. Yeah, let's begin with that. So what exactly, you see, signals can be addressed by two ways. I was outside, I should have, you see, if I fold it down, I can fold it down, and then if I want to monitor which asset I'm going to trade, and I go manually by the contract, I have this blue lightning icon which opens me the signal for the asset, right, for the euro pound. Okay, that's how the signal is, and I can also do it from the section itself. Now the difference is if I click on it, it shows me all the information right here. Okay, and it shows me also when this signal was created. Okay, how long ago. Now this has an impact on the signal success. Why? Because the signal is analyzed for two scenarios, buy and sell. So that means that certain levels can be reached through that analysis. Okay, now eventually the market will get to one of those levels, right? And when it happens, okay, let me show it to you from the section itself. You see, when it happens, we're going to get a nice message. We're going to click here on view signal, and it says here the market has already reached a key level. That means that the analysis that was done here was already fulfilled. And if I'm going to try and use the signal, it's not going to let me. Okay, let me just elaborate that for you, and then we can move on. So we took the FTSE. We're going to click here to expand the chart. We see that the volatility here is 1 day. That means that each candle here is daily. We're going to match it. We're going to click on the left upper corner. We're going to click it, and then we're going to go down, and then we're going to change to days. Okay, as you can see here. Oh, it appears that we already okay, that's very nice. It seems like we already had some things on the chart, so I've cleaned it by clicking here on the arrow and then clear drawing, and then it just cleaned the chart. Okay, and then we can see the validity here is daily. Okay, we match the validity. We can have a nice we're going to have a look at the levels of support and resistance. Now, support and resistance, very on a nutshell, but just to understand the idea, are levels on the chart. Okay, key levels. As you can see, we can place, again, I'm clicking on the arrow to fetch the lines, so we can place on certain levels. You see it way past the resistance, way past the resistance. Okay, resistance will always be levels above the current price. Now, because this is all times high, there is no, yeah, I hope it makes sense. Okay, if we're going to take an asset that didn't reach all times high, I'm going to show it to you later on, okay? Or maybe I can take another asset just for the sake of the example. I wanted to explain to you about that bit, but it's more important that you'll understand how the signal is made and how to use it. This is also, maybe that can help us. Yeah, that's fine. Day, again, we're going to change it to days. Okay, it doesn't let me do it for some reason. Okay. Now, support and resistance, as I have explained, you see I've switched to another asset because now I can show you. See, resistance are levels above the price that helps us describe how the chart is looking like with certain levels, horizontal lines, price line. You want to put it this way. Then we can see it's not exactly as it's written here. If I want, I can click it and I can match the numbers. It's irrelevant right now, so I'm not going to do that. But the purpose of me doing that is to know, okay, the market right now is 23.1244. According to that, we have either a buy scenario. That means that if I'm going to take a buy, my intention is that the value will increase. If I'm taking a sell, my intention is that the value will decrease. Therefore, it allows me to see what levels, to my personal opinion, it can get to. And then I can choose buy or sell. Now, if I choose the buy, as I have explained, my intention is that the value will increase. Therefore, it's going to place two pending orders on the chart. Okay, let me just show you. I'm going to click on buy. It's going to place take profit and stop loss. It hasn't placed that yet. It's just prepared that for me. Okay, it's not mandatory to use. I can just get rid of it if I want. And I can also adjust it if I want. Okay, but eventually if I execute it this way, what will happen is if it reaches the green line, just a second, guys. I want to make a little more visual for us. Okay, so if it reaches the green line, I'm going to make $71. If it reaches the red line, I'm going to lose, God forbid, 120. Now, these two guys, risk-reward ratio, okay, this is my reward, this is my risk, is something that I can adjust. I can change it here, and then the impact will be reflected here. But if I want, I can just review the sell scenario. Okay, and I'm going to see that that's the opposite almost. Okay, and then I can adjust it, and I can basically I can adjust the lot size, whatever I want, but the signal is placing it for me automatically. If I want to use this analysis, same apply with, let's say, NASDAQ. Okay, I can also change the validity, and then I can review the support and resistance. Okay, very easy. Then I can go through here if I want. I can review the pivot point and so on. Then I choose the scenario. Okay, so 3 clicks away. This is what it takes to use a signal. Okay, just one last time. Okay, we're going to take something that's still valid. You see, this is what I've explained in the beginning. I've explained signals are produced upon a certain price. That means that there are certain expectations for the market to get to. So if it was produced long ago, I can expect one of those levels already passed, right? So I want to take something, the most recent signal that there is. Yeah, so let's carry out. Do we have any questions about anything? Anything that I said so far about the signals, about the platforms? Okay, Ashley, you were asking how we can know which asset has a signal. This is a very good question. This is a very good question, but there are 2 main ways. You can either see which asset you want first. Okay, let's suppose I'm looking for Apple. Apple doesn't have it. Let's say coffee is an example. Coffee has it. You see, if I click it, it shows me. This is one way you can know. And the other way is simply through the section itself. There's no other way to know if an asset has a signal or not. I guess you have to scroll down here or to search it like I showed. There's no other way. I hope it helps. All right. Yeah, of course. As I showed, you can search it, and then it appears. First, you have to click it. You have to click it, and then, oh, sorry, it was here. First, you have to search it, to click it, and then it shows. Okay, first search, and then it shows. Let's carry on. Do we have any more questions? Let's then carry on. Okay. We have a question from Sibiya. On the demo, it's not active. It might be turned off. I don't know if you can use it with the demo, but it might be. Again, we're making a lot of changes right now. This content is you don't have to pay to get that content, so of course you should check it out. It's also important to know that the signals are from the Trading Central. We're not manufacturing the signals. Okay, so this is under the umbrella of technical analysis. Signals, as I showed, support and resistance, and so on. This is based on support technical analysis. Underneath, we have news section. So we're going to click it. Then we're going to see some nice article here to the right. To the left, we have some tabs here that I can filter more into Forex or indices or something in particular, again, that I want to see. I can filter it here. And the nice advantage about using the signal section, I want to show you guys. You see in here it says one related instrument, but I want to show you if there's more than one. There you go. You see, some things has more than one asset, and then it can open more markets for you to explore. See, this might have an impact on oil and gold and Bitcoin and Aussie versus dollar. Okay, so it's just one thing to know. It's just a nice thing to know. Underneath, beside the news section, this is fundamental analysis, right? We said technical analysis. This was here at the top. Here we have the news. This is fundamental analysis. That means all kind of news bits. If you may, you can go through that, and you will know more about the pre-Asia market brief. Okay, and here you can find about the oil. Okay, as an example. If I go down to discovery, I have some. I'm not going to show you everything. There is no time, but we can see the market buzz. Okay, which can show us some things that are maybe more interesting to explore, that has potential to fluctuate for us. Okay, we can find Apple here, Tesla, Nvidia, all kind of things. The AirTag. Okay, we're gonna go farther down to the economic calendar. Then we're gonna begin with the second part. This is also something you can filter. Let's say we're gonna pick today, and we are going to reset settings. We're gonna check all countries. Okay, let's say, all right, so this is what we have today. If I scroll farther down, as you can see, it's by timing. Okay, if I scroll farther down, we have here, oh, this is still today. Okay, we can, okay, this is just today. If I click here and then I choose, this is maybe too far, let's say week forward, you have to have this, I don't know how to call it, this columny thing here. You see this colored thing painting our calendar, and then it's going to mark you from the 8th till the date that you choose. I'm not going to go this far as the date that I've marked. I'm just showing you. And beside that, I can also filter it by the impact. So if I'm going to go with high, let's suppose, it's going to show me only high impact events. The last thing that I can filter is obviously the countries. So if I'm more focused on the dollar, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here on all countries, and then the dollar, United States, the dollar, okay. And then we can see US dollar kind of events here, initial jobless claim and all kind of things here. If you don't understand completely what it means, you can click it to read the description. You can see that it's also built in a very comfortable way. The last result, okay, what happened last time? So that's previous 208. Forecast is 211. This will only appear here in gray. We don't have, okay, let me perhaps, no, I don't want to go back. Let's just, because I want to show you, see, when the actual takes place, it's presented. Okay, but right now we took events that wasn't there, so we couldn't see it, and then it appears. One more thing before we wrap this section up is the calendar, guys. That is an amazing, incredible feature. You can add it to your calendar, okay, this event, and then to revisit it when it's more relevant and see how the market is going to react to that. We can also, you can also click here on the impact and explore there, all kind of interesting things here. I just don't want to waste a lot of time on that. Do we have any questions? This is also fundamental analysis. I'm sorry, I almost forgot to add it. So we have technical analysis for the news, for the signals, fundamental analysis. Naturally, I would want to combine both always, okay, to have technical and fundamentals. So that might be the maybe how it moves, right? Technical analysis may be how the chart is moving or how it can move. Fundamental analysis might be the reason of why it's moving. This is why I want to know both. And yeah, I think this is pretty much the first part. Do we have any questions, guys? I just want to carry on to the next segment. Any questions? Okay, we have a question from Sulawe. What do you recommend? But uh, I'm not recommending, unfortunately, I can't recommend something in particular. I would recommend what you like the most. But you can, like I said, you can perhaps click here on the news and just read what can be, what can be interesting. I'm just not supposed to recommend anything specific. Brian, what is the minimum deposit? I'm gonna take a very wild guess. I think it's $100, but again, I'm not fully aware of it. You try and make it a positive, whatever you want to make, and see if it goes. I think it's 100. I'm really not sure. Okay, because I'm more of the educational stuff, and you can just ask your account manager. Okay, so we are done with the first part. Let's move to the second. We're gonna understand some logic behind the things that are here. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of everything written here beside the no. Let's just get rid of everything quickly, and we're gonna say find ourselves a nice asset to review. Just a second. What was interesting that we saw? I think coffee was there. Okay, so as I showed in the beginning, you can basically search two ways, right? There is a toggle here, then you drag it down. Then I can scroll down. We have Forex indices, cryptos, commodities, and stocks, ETF and bonds. How much do you charge as AvaTrade? Do you charge per transaction or withdrawals? We don't have that, Mr. Sibia. We don't charge for the withdrawals. You can deposit and withdrawals freely. What the bank is taking is something else, but we don't charge. That's how it goes. You have spread and swaps, but for the withdrawals and deposit, you can do it freely, no problem. Okay, I'm happy that you asked. Thank you for the lovely question. And what I wanted to show you, okay, we have some nice categories here. We want to present coffee. So intentionally, I can just go to commodities, then agriculture, and then to find coffee here, or I could simply search it. Okay, I'm gonna go coffee and then click it as I showed. And let's quickly see what is happening here. Okay, first I will explain, then we'll analyze. Okay, so we're gonna go from left to right. Here we have the search bar. Here we have the time frames. We already saw that on the signal section, weeks, days, hours, minutes, and so on. Here we have the candlesticks, bar or line. If I'm choosing a line, of course, there are certain parts that I won't be able to have with the line. Sorry. Okay, and see that as an example. This is something I don't have with a line, only with the candles. It could signify a certain reversal, and also maybe in here. Okay. Now, if I keep going to the right, I can also enable the crosshair. Right now, let's see, on my earnings. I really want to help you, Mr. Sibia, but I'm not sure my earnings. Oh, you mean on the profits? If we take commissions from the profits? No, no, sir. We don't have those things. Like I said, we charge the spread and the swap. Spread is the difference between the bid and the ask. Whatever you make profits is your profits. Of course, we have the overnight fee and the spread, and that's it. Okay. All right. Now, as I showed, so if I enable the now why am I showing you this? You see that when I'm pointing on the candles, I have no information coming from the candles. How is that? That's because my crosshair is just by default, it's not a crosshair. It's no crosshair. So I have to change it to crosshair. And now when I'm following the chart, I have information, I have the data, and I can analyze. Okay, it's going to appear here in the rectangle to the upper left. If I keep going to the right, I can split the charts. I can change it if I want. Here to add an indicator. We're going to do it in a bit anyway, so there's no point. I'm going to show it to you later on. Let's get rid of those. You saw that this is super simple. We're going to click here on the arrow, go down to clear drawing. Very, very simple. Okay. Now, how did I open the sidebar to the right? I just click sell or buy. There you go. Buy. It opens. Sell. Opens. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's review this quickly. So you saw that I switched from the order entry to the instrument tab. It shows me if it's right now it's in a buying state. You see right now the buyers are overpowering the sellers. However, let me just show you how quickly things can change. Let's scroll down, scroll down. You see I have here some information, the spread, the leverage, overnight fee. Okay, now you see that now it's red, right? We all see that the ray here is red. Okay, there is no deny. Let's click here and change to 1 minute, just to understand how things can change, right? So we have 2 minutes ago, that was green. 4 minutes ago, it was green. Before that, just a few minutes, it was green. You see, it's changing. From that, my most basic understanding is that figuring the direction is good, but I also need to know if this is still a sell. It could be sell, it could be a sell. Paint green quickly. Why did I do that? Let's switch the sell, because every point from here that I'm going to take a sell is my profit. Okay, my intention is that the value will decrease. Okay, so that means as long as it's going to keep going down, I make profits. If God forbid it goes against me, it goes up, I'll have losses. Therefore, so my most basic understanding from the chart that I showed you is because the direction keep on changing, just to know if it's sell, see, if it's sell, it could be sell for $0.50 down or maybe less, right? Few cents down, and then it can change up. So I need to know the sell to what price, right? How do I do that? Let's write down a couple of things that hopefully will help us construct the position and also understand how we can somehow measure the length of how much coffee can move on average. Okay, so we have coffee. We're going to write down a couple of things. Okay, so my first one will be target. Second one is time. We'll also understand the logic why I wrote it down. Okay, now, how does that work? You see, if I have a target, a certain target, because right now, even if I execute to do the sell, well, I know how much money I'm using, how much I can gain, how much I can lose, where should I stop it? I don't have any idea. All I know is that if I'll take a sell and it goes down, I'll make profits. That's all I know. And unfortunately, it's not enough. I need to design this position with something called risk money management. And one of my analysis is to also construct it in a way that makes sense. I need to know how much money I'm using, how much I can gain, how much I can lose, from the simple reason that I showed you in the beginning. We saw there is something called risk reward ratio. And we would like to know that the result will be to our satisfaction. Okay. So I'm going to write down here 1,000. Okay, is my target. One thing I know that if I'll sell here and it goes down enough for me to make 1,000, it might be a good price to close the position. If my target has been 1,000. Now, I also need to know that this 1,000 will be made in time that I like. If I make $1,000 in a year, is that okay? It's less than $100 a month, right? If I make $1,000 in a month, not bad, not bad. But maybe I want to make it in a week, right? Because the time and effort I'm going to put into that position needs to make sense. Okay, you have to agree with me that 1 year and 1 week making 1,000 is completely, it's the same 1,000, but it has completely different meaning, right? If I average 1,000 a week, I make 4K a month. I make 48,000 a year. If I make 1,000 a year, so that stays 1,000 a year. Okay, never mind. I hope this concept is clear. The target and the time. Let's just write down 1 month or maybe 1 week. Let's be a bit more ambitious. Okay, the movements here. How can we can know the movement? So there is the manual way. Manual way means that I'm just going to go to the previous candle. Okay, and I'm going to write down the numbers, and I'm going to subtract the open from the close and the high from the lows, which I've marked in white lines. As you can see, the candle is made out of 2 segments. There is the colored area, and there is the just a second. There is the price that it's already went through. How can we know? Because as you can see, this is the thin area here. It's a price that it's been, and then it went down. So this candle actually started going up. Okay, if you don't believe me, let me just show you quickly. Yeah, sorry. Do we understand that? It started going. Sorry, just a second, guys. Sorry. Okay, so as I as I was showing, candle start. The market started moving up, and then it went down. This what gave this candle its shape, and that's why, as you can see, it was finalized in much lower price. So we can see that the open here was 223. The high was actually 228, right? As we saw, and then it went all the way down. Yeah. Now, I can basically subtract the open from the the open from the bottom and the high from the bottom, and then I'll have some idea how much it moved. But the problem is that if I'll measure that candle from yesterday, from weeks. What am I talking about? This is not days, guys. Sorry if I confuse that. This is weeks, okay? So if I'm looking at last week and I see, okay, last week it moved from here, but this is much bigger than that candle, and it's also much bigger than that candle, and this candle is different than that candle. What I'm trying to tell you guys is that one might not be enough, right? We need several candles. And we're not going to start, we can, whoever has the time and the patience to sit down and analyze all candles, no problem. But we have an indicator for that called average true range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here on FX indicators. I'm going to click here on add to filter, and I'm going to put down AVE for average true range, and I'm going to click and drag it to the right. Now, this acknowledges the time frame that I have on the chart, meaning when I'm looking at weeks, this will be weeks. When I'm looking at days, this will be days. When I'm looking at minutes, this will be minutes, and so on. Okay, or months, for that matter. And I'm not sure that to go 14 weeks backward is wise. Okay, because as you can see, the market is completely different. Each segment looks completely different. And here it was like that. Here we have a different consolidation area. In here it already breached way beyond the resistance. As you can see, the resistance might be here. Okay, you can see that it already passed that way beyond. Okay. And let's maybe put it this way, because I want it to be clear for you guys as much as I can. I guess that's clear enough, I guess. Let's maybe paint. No need. Okay, so as you can see, if I'm trying to find the average, to go back 14 candles, 14 weeks, that's could be completely something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the 14 here in the length. Let's change it to 5. Okay, let's say a month and a week is enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the average movement is 17. Just to show you guys, just to understand, you see that the ATR here, where it says ATR, look in here it's 17, but what it was before this 5 weeks is 9, right? It's 9. It's almost half. Okay, so to go back 14 candles might be completely something else. Okay, let's carry on. So let's suppose that the 17 here is something that I can rely on, and I believe that now coffee still has another bearish movement. Okay, that bearish meaning going down, right? Bear slam his opponent to the ground, bull lift it in the air. So bear is going down, bull is going up. Okay, so we can anticipate some downward trend, and we can be unfortunately we can never know how much down it can go. Now the 17 here, which is the ATR, is something we're going to write down. Okay, going to write it down. ATR 17839. Okay, now to rely purely on the ATR is something that I might avoid. Why? Because we understand that through those candles, maybe 17 is maybe ambitious, right? 17 is, let's take the current price. Sorry, we're going to include what's after decimal. Okay, 178. Which is here. Okay, so for coffee to go down this far, maybe, okay, maybe, but I want to take a precautions and say, I don't want to expect for 17, I just want to expect for 10. Why? Because 10 is more humble, and I know that 10 is here. It's midway-ish, and it might get there. To my personal opinion, it's more probable to get to here than to here, even though it's absolutely possible. And it will also possible it will turn around. There is no guarantees. Okay, so if we expect it to get to here, and we have $10 away, $10 away from the current price. How many units of coffee we must sell to make 1,000 with $10 per unit? And that means 1,000 divided by 10. Okay, we're going to write down a formula. Target divided by movements equals units. Okay, how much is it, guys? How many units do I need? Who knows? How much is 1,000 divided by 10, right? Anybody has any idea? Let's do it together. Very good, Brian. Perfect. Nika, very good. Very good, Nika. Very good, Brian. Sibia. Very good. Perfect. Let's do it together. Dave, very good. Now, let's put it to the test, see all the numbers matches. Okay. In here in the amount lot, we're going to change it to 100. We are on a sell, that's good. Click here on the take profit. Maybe that we're going to adjust it in a moment as well. And we, oh, sorry, nearly forgot. Okay. Yeah, very, very good. Okay, so we have the 1,000 that we expected to make. Perfect. Let's say that the same length is going to be to anticipate. Okay, what can be the loss? So we took $10 down and $10 up. That leaves us with, again, I forget what's the decimal. Okay, that's the spread. This is why it's not a flat number. As you can see, 1,000 we can make, 1,000 that we can lose, and that looks very, very good. Now let's run through the budget to see we have enough budget to take it. Okay, so the budget is made out of few components. We have price per unit times units, amount lot, if you want, amount lot, okay? You don't have to know this calculation because it's already down, it's already been done here automatically, right? But I'm just showing it for you to know. So price per unit is presented here on the chart. 5 times 100. We don't even need a calculator for that, but okay, let's do it anyway. Yeah, as you can see. Okay, and that's the value. Now we have the leverage. Okay, the leverage is 1 to 10. Multiplies buying and selling. Okay, very simple. And we're going to add another last section. Okay, we're going to add here value divided by leverage is margin impact, which is, let's do 19,575 divided by 10. That is 1959. Okay, margin impact. And margin impact, guys, is margin impact. Let's put it here. The necessary amount to open the position. Okay, this is how much I need, not the value, because I am multiplied. I am leveraged. Okay. All right. So let's see. This is how much it cost. I am with 10,000. Easily can be executed if I wanted. I do have enough budget to take the position. Now, so take profit. We said 185. Sorry. Okay, stop loss 170. Oh, sorry, 205. Of course, we are with a sell. That means that our stop loss will have to be higher. So this is $1,000 loss. Could be potentially, and 10,000 minus 1,000 gives us 9,000. Okay. In other words, 10% exposure. Okay. Now, if I don't like the idea being exposed 10%, and let's suppose I want to minimize it to 5, how do I adjust my 10% to 5? I have two ways. One, adjust the lot size, but this will have an impact on my profit. Second is adjust the stop loss. Okay. Now, how do I adjust the stop loss? And this is absolutely not mandatory to do. As I said, my purpose here is to give you the tools, to give you the ability. How you use it and when you're going to use it is entirely up to you. But let's suppose that you're not happy with the 10% and you really want to make it 5, because 10%, we understand that if we take 4 positions similarly, we are exposed 50% of the account. Okay, and that might not be advisable depending on your risk money management. Now, how do I adjust it? So if I'll take the stop loss, let's say $5 down, right? Let's say 200 instead, 0.9. Okay, then I minimize my potential loss by half. Okay, we all understood that. How does that work? Because of the simple logic, the outcome in here and the outcome in here is the interpretation between how many units I have. It doesn't matter if it's coffee, if it's a stock, if it's an indice, if it's whatever you want, okay? It will always be measured between my entry when I execute the position to where it's going to get to. Furthermore, actually, I'm going to show you that because that can be very, very useful. And now we have the time. I can also specify the time, the price that I wish to execute the position specifically. So let's suppose that I click here on the execute and price hits, and I'm not truly happy with 196 because my analysis was done on 195. Actually, I want to go for 195 flat without the 95. So what can I do? I'm going to go with 195, and then I'm going to quickly adjust what is here, 185. Okay, and in here we're going to also we will adjust it, and then we get flat numbers, as you can see, perfectly composed exactly as we wanted. Now, of course, there is no guarantee that this scenario will be fulfilled, but at least the preparations and the optimization of our analysis was done to our numbers. Okay, we know that everything here makes sense. The length, the lot size, I can increase, I can decrease. I can, as you saw, I can also adjust the potential loss. Okay, it seems very, very nice. Do we have any questions so far, guys, about the process, about what I've explained about the platform? As I showed you guys, most of the calculations are already here on the platform. Okay, if you're using MT4 or MT5 and you're still you don't have these calculations going fluently, you can use the web trader and it's here. You can know how much money you need, how much you can make, how much you can lose. It's very accessible, okay? Yeah. Now, because we have still 5 minutes left, maybe I'll give on a nutshell just the idea behind the picture that we're seeing here, okay? So as you can see, if I'm gonna take, actually, let's take, no, let's stay with the oval. I don't know if a rectangle is gonna let us slide it to the right, because to the right there is no space. Okay, so I hope that I hope that everyone can see the difference between what's happening here on the oval, in the oval, to the segment here, right? We see between 178 to 203.47. We have a nice area. It was, I think, half a year ago. When was that? Yeah, I could safely. Oh, that's maybe 4.5 months, not half a year, but maybe we can even take it to the. Okay, you can see the difference, right? So what does that mean exactly? This used to be my resistance, right? Now, if I'm looking at the 203 as my guideline, and it already passed through that, it's now 196. That happened last week, and it hasn't. I don't think that it visited it back, right? The high here is how much? 201. Okay, so it went up, but not too much. Okay, so we can understand there are a few things that can happen from this point, right? Either it's going to keep going down, either it's going to keep going up, or similarly to what happened here. What happened here? Anybody knows how it's called? This whole area here. This is ranging. This is consolidation. It went through the same levels over and over again. 185 could be the pivot point in here, right in the middle, maybe a little higher. Maybe here. Yeah, it's open to debate. But anyway, the idea here is that I have a reason to believe, because it's heading to inside a consolidation area, I have a reason to believe that it can proceed going down. Okay, it might not happen, but this is what I can see from support and resistance. We have the resistance 203, 196 was the prior level. We can see that it passed that as well. Okay, it was higher than it was here, somewhere close to the middle, and finally it breached down, which could be from a simple reason, from a special reason. What usually I do in this cases is I check the fundamentals, and then it helps me understand better what could be what caused this significant impact. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Could be something with the dollar. I'm not going to expand more than that because we don't have the time. Yeah, well, I hope we don't. Unfortunately, we are done for today. I hope that everybody enjoyed and you learned. You took at least one new thing from me today. Yeah, beside that, I wish you all a fruitful week. I would like you to, you're all invited to the live Q&A we're doing tomorrow, and to proceed with your wonderful questions. Other than that, I wish you all best of luck and have a good day.